had it removed.
Modernized, yeah.
It's 6:25 right now, and right in the Des Moines downtown area, there's a very common site. It used to be called Nolan Plaza.
They used to graze sheep there.
Thank you for that transition opportunity there, Jason Parkin. Yeah, if you're traveling downtown, obviously you're seeing a lot going on across from the Civic Center, the new Cowles Commons. But what exactly is going on? We've had construction there for a couple of years. Well, we want to give you an update and behind-the-scenes look of exactly what is going on. I'm very excited to be standing here with Laura Sweet, Vice President of Des Moines Performing Arts. We're doing a little bit of a follow-up on what is happening with Cowles Commons because there is a lot going on.
Tons going on. We're so glad you could join us here today on Cowles Commons. You can see there's a lot of action happening. Majority of the work today has to do with the red carpet, which is finally reaching towards the Civic Center block, and of course the fountain, which we're excited. The installation, the granite is all happening. We're getting ready for our opening.
So if people are driving past the Civic Center and looking to their right, they're seeing a lot of progress. So what has been updated since last time we've spoke?
Well, of course, we have many trees that have been planted, 36. We've got close to 12,000 plants eventually that'll be on the block. I'm going to say we have probably 2/3 of the plants in the ground now. We've got most of the pavers installed. There's going to be over 11,000 individual pieces of granite and brick. And of course, we're making the final details and getting everything ready for the fountain to be operational.
Now, in the area we're at right now, we see some amazing plants being put in. This wall that's also a bench.
That's right.
That has some sayings on it, but also some leaves. Tell us about these leaves.
Well, the great thing about all the little details in Cowles Commons is they're functional and they're also beautiful. There are 10 benches on this side of the block, 5 on the other side of the block. The benches on this side of the block actually have peace quotes, and we actually designed into the benches skateboard deterrents that are shaped out of leaves that you'll find on Cowles Commons.
And embedded in the flowers, we're going to have lights. We're going to have a lot of things going on to really make it a beautiful place to come and visit.
That's right. Really, the block is going to feel not only safe, but also magical. Just a beautiful space to be in the evening hours.
So we can plainly see that there's a lot of great progress going on with Cowles Commons, but there's still some areas that are being developed and probably won't be done until later on this fall?
That's right, that's right. So what we're looking at is the Jim Campbell Foundation location. So the Jim Campbell art piece will come back and be installed this fall. It really will be the cherry on top when it comes to Cowles Commons. The stainless steel structures will emerge spill over onto the red carpet area and across into the South Grove, and tens of thousands of LED lights will suspend 15 feet above the block. It really will be spectacular.
Is that going to be kind of the centerpiece, the thing that really holds us all together, or is the umbrella kind of considered to be part of that?
I feel like there are 3 great visual elements for the block. We have the Jim Campbell piece, which is the new piece to the block. We have our iconic Klaus Allenberg umbrella, and we have our new fountain. It's interesting to think about the Jim Campbell piece because it's been described as either a nest, like for birds above the Cowles Commons area, or it's also been described as a cloud suspended above Cowles Commons. Okay. So I like thinking about it being a cloud with the juxtaposition of then having an umbrella and a fountain.
And of course, another main piece right behind us, the iconic red carpet leading up to the Civic Center.
That's right. It really promises to be that focal point for Cowles Commons and a place so when visitors, people experiencing lunch hour, whoever it is that's enjoying Cowles Commons, you'll kind of know you're arrived in Des Moines when you hit the Des Moines red carpet.
All right, Laura, we were very fortunate when we came out today. The vaults, as you call them, are open, and everyone's kind of working in this area having to do with the fountain.
That's right. A lot of work happening with the fountain. We do have 2 underground rooms, one that basically is full of water, the water that gets filtered, recirculated, and reused for the fountain. Okay. The other room that's underground is basically full of mechanicals, so making sure that the fountain is operational. It's a place that will have frequent tests done to make sure all the balances are right for the chemicals involved with the fountain. And the fountain itself is pretty intense when it comes to details that have to come together to make it work.
Well, this fountain is going to be huge.
It's going to be really, really fun and very large. So an interesting thing about the fountain, there's 20 jets, there's over 30 lights that are happening. It'll be very beautiful in nighttime hours, but it'll be whimsical and fun for kids and adults to kind of run through because you won't know where to predict where the water is going to be streaming from next. And we could turn the fountain off and drain it. It'll be completely level, and we'll be able to set stages up for events that would happen in the afternoon or evening hours. So it's a very flexible space.
As you said before, a wonderful place to hold events of all sizes and shapes because you can literally move a staging area anywhere you want into this new space.
That's right. And Nolan Plaza was great for many decades, but the great thing about Cowles Commons as we look ahead is the block will be very, very multi-purpose. We can use it for a giant event or just a small intimate gathering. It's for Des Moines, so it'll be fun to see what we end up doing here.
We're very excited to give you one of the first sneak peeks at an iconic piece of Cowles Commons, the umbrella. Now it's getting some touch-ups as well, a brand new coat of paint.
That's right. So Klaus Ohlenberg designed this umbrella for this space. It was one of the first pieces that he did for a specific location. A nice thing about Nolan Plaza and its relationship to the Civic Center is when it was originally designed mindfully for this space, he really had in mind the story of Crusoe. So he thought about how Crusoe designed this umbrella when he was trapped on the island, and it was one of the few things he ended up taking with him back to civilization. So it's a nice image of something that's long-lasting for our block, because of course it's lasted from originally the days of Nolan Plaza into these days with Cowles Commons. The same team that painted the umbrella for us 10 years ago is back on site with us this time around.
Wow.
Yeah.
So kind of a dark green, and that's what it originally was.
That's right, that's right.
And you were saying on his description of the umbrella, you can kind of look at it in a new way if you didn't know about the story of the different jagged edges of how the umbrella was created.
That's right. So the artist, when he was originally making the maquette for the piece, used a Christmas tree. So you can see the shapes of the sticks from the tree as jagged edges around the shape of the umbrella.
And you also said you learned something new about the shape of the umbrella as well.
That's right,
recently.
that's right. So it's nice that the umbrella ties so well to the Des Moines Civic Center and Des Moines Performing Arts, our home. And it also reflects down Locust Street towards the Capitol building. And you can see the shape of the Capitol dome in that umbrella tip. So it's neat to think about how connected really Des Moines Performing Arts, the Civic Center, everything is to our community center.
How often do you guys come out here and walk around and have been involved with what's happening to Cowles Commons?
We're out here every day. We're excited to see the transformation on a daily basis. You know, Cowles Commons is something that Des Moines Performing Arts is really excited to give to the community as a special gift, and we're excited each day to see the new things that are waiting for us to experience.
Is there something specifically you're most excited about and looking forward to?
It's hard to pick. I think the first time the lights come on, once we have the Jim Campbell piece, when we'll be able to really experience the new art piece along with the newly lit umbrella and obviously the fabulous fountain. I think that first moment is going to be pretty special.
A lot of exciting things going on, obviously a lot of work still to be done. When can people officially kind of come down here and have a look for themselves?
We think that the project's going to wrap up at the end of June. Of course, Winefest is coming up. We're excited to welcome Winefest to an open construction site, so we'll invite you back for hopefully the first of many events to come.
Wonderful. Well, Laura, thank you so much for giving us this kind of behind-the-scenes tour. A lot of progress, a lot of great things happening here downtown Des Moines. That's right. Thanks to the Des Moines Performing Arts and the White's Construction Company for letting us kind of go in there and get a sneak peek while they're continuing to work there. A lot of work still to be done, but they're making a lot of progress. But some fun things that we learned. BJ, who's kind of overseeing the project there, was giving us some tidbits of how much they didn't realize they were going to have to deal with in that area. Now, I'm kind of new to the area. I've only been here about 5 years, so I didn't realize there used to be buildings in that area. And apparently when they demolished the buildings, all they did was demolish it and basically bury it. So when they had to go in there so they could put in a new fountain system and electrical and everything, they're like, we ran into all this stuff. We're like, what is this? And
a lot of bodies.
I asked him, I'm like, any bodies? He's like, nothing that exciting. But all these like pillars and everything, and they're just like, what is this? And they finally realized, oh, it was the previous buildings that they
they just covered them up. They took out what they needed to and then left everything else.
Just put it in the ground. So they're like, we encountered quite a few things we weren't expecting, but everything's going very well, and they're creating a beautiful space that, like they said, is meant for us here in Des Moines to utilize and enjoy. And we're going to start seeing more of that coming this summer, but of course we'll keep you up to date right here on Great.
I'm just glad the big umbrella is still there.
Yeah.
I was worried for a while.
They said the two biggest questions they get is obviously, when's it going to be done? And two, was the umbrella really dark green? And it's like, that is the original color. Just over time and sun beaten down on it, it looked more like of a black color. But now that they've repainted it, you can blatantly see that it's dark green, but the exact same original color that it was when it was first built.
That is great. Awesome. Good story. It is 6:34. We'll be right back. You're watching Great Day Live on KC.